Thought for the day. The greatest discovery of any generation is that a human being can alter his life by altering his attitude. With this amazing thought, greetings of the day to all my dear students. I hope that you all are in good health. Shreya Jadhav, welcoming you all to my e-learning channel. And today we are going to learn English Grade 12 Chapter 6 Poets and Pancakes, written by Ashoka Mitran. So, before starting with the reading and explanation of the chapter, let us know something about the author. Ashoka Mitran was born in 1931. A Tamil writer recounts his peers at Gemini Studio in his book My Years with Boss, which talks of the influence of movies on every aspect of life in India. The Gemini Studio, located in Chennai, was set up in 1940. It is one of the most influential film producing organization in India in the early days of Indian film making. Its founder was S.S. Vasan. The duty of Ashoka Mitran in Gemini Studio was to cut out newspaper clippings on a wide variety of subjects and store them in files. Many of these had to be written out by hand. Although he performed an insignificant function, he was the most well informed of all the members of the Gemini family. The following is an excerpt from his book, My Years with Boss. So now let us move ahead to the introduction of the answer. So, dear students, always keep this in mind that whenever you are appearing for exams or tests, always start your answers with introduction. This creates a really good impact. So, here it is. Prose name Poets and Pancakes. Author's name Ashoka Mitran. Genre story. Summary. Here, the writer shares his experience at Gemini Studio, where he used to work for S.S. Vasan. So now, let us go through the summary of the poem. The chapter Poets and Pancakes is an autobiographical account written by the author Ashoka Mitran. It describes the days Ashoka Mitran spent at the famous Gemini Studios in Madras as a news collector. Pancakes refers to the brand of makeup foundation which used by the makeup artist in making the actors and actresses ugly in order to look presentable on camera. He describes the national integrity seen in the studio in form of hierarchical makeup department headed by a Maharashtrian assisted by a Dwapar Kannadiya and Andhra, a Madras Indian Catholic and Anglo Burmese. The author describes Kota Mangal Subbu, the number 2 at Gemini Studio, who was a jack of all trades. He was a multifaceted personality with a knack for writing poetry and acting. A creative man, he would produce scenes at will of the director. He was a genuine man with genuine love and compassion for all humans, which invited the envy of the office boy of makeup department who wanted to a lyricist but ended up slapping paints on the crowd players. His time at the studios is marked by the visits of the Moral Rearmament Army. Over here, it means who performs plays at the studio consisting of over 200 foreign actors. An English poet, Stephen Spender, whose visit surprises all. Nobody recognizes the famous poet, and his visit remains an unsolved mystery till years later when the author chances upon a prose writing competition held by Spender's newspaper. For nearly 30 years, from 1940, the Gemini Studio of Madras, that is in Chennai, was the most influential film producing organization of India, and its founder, the brilliant multifaceted entrepreneur S.S. Vasan, lent substance and quality to rather fragile and unpredictable movie business. The Gemini emblem of two small boys with bulbs was true to Vasan's slogan for the studio. When the bulbs blow, there is a great show. Gemini Films entertained millions over India and abroad. Sahitya Academy Award winning Tamil writer Ashoka Mitran worked for the Gemini studio from the year 1952 to 1966, a full 20 years after he renounced films. Poet editor Pritesh Nari persuaded Ashoka Mitran to record his reminiscence, and the result was a series of articles making up My Years with Boss. The book covers only 5 of the 14 years with the studio but captures the face of Indian movie business when the key factor of the box office was imperturbable shifting from the studio to the stars. In this lesson, Poets and Pancakes, the author talks about the Gemini studio, which was set up in Chennai. It was one of the most influential film producing organization of India in the early days of Indian film making. Its founder was S.S. Vasan. Of the author Ashoka Mitran in Gemini Studio was to cut out newspaper clippings on a wide variety of subjects and store them in files. Most of these had to be written in hand. He recounts his experiences at Gemini Studio in this lesson. He talks about the pancakes, which was a brand name of the makeup, the material that Gemini Studio brought in truckloads. He also talks of the poets who frequently visits Gemini Studio. Theme in this lesson, the writer gives an interesting account of various activities and the persons of Gemini Studio, which was set up in Madras in 1840 by S.S. Vasan. He delineates the foibles and idiosyncrasies of person who worked in the studio in light-hearted and humorous manner. The writer also deals with the problems of human relationship. People working there had their differences over petty matters. Some of them were jealous of those who were successful in their career and close to the boss. This chapter has been taken from My Years with Boss. His job in the studio was newspaper cuttings on various topics and to maintain those files. Through this write-up, Ashoka Mitran bring up a lot of topics pertaining to the film industry in particular and India in general, and provides the reader a glimpse of independent India in its infancy. He first takes up the makeup department and makes fun of the trouble that the artist took to look ugly and the pain they underwent under the glare of big light bulbs. In fact, the term pancake refers to the brand name of makeup material which was excessively used by the artist of the Gemini studio. So, dear students, this is all about the summary. Now, let us proceed towards the reading and explanation of the chapter. Pancake was the brand name of the makeup material that Gemini Studios bought in truckloads. Greta Garbo must have used it. Miss Gohar must have used it. Vaijanti Mala must also have used it. But Rati Agnihotri may not have even heard of it. The makeup department of the Gemini studio was in the upstairs of a building that was believed to have been Robert Cleve's stables. A dozen other buildings in the cities are said to have been his residence for his brief life and even briefer stay in Madras. Robert Cleve seems to have done a lot of moving besides fighting some impossible battles to remote corners of India and marrying a maiden in St. Mary's Church in Fort St. George in Madras. In the first paragraph, the writer is sharing his experience that the makeup brand which they are using, whose name is Pancake, that makeup brand is being used by, we can say, the Hollywood actresses, certain Indian actresses also, but other common actresses might not have heard of this brand name. Now, this Gemini studio is being set up where Robert Cleve's stable used to be there, and they have set up their studio over there. And it has been said that Robert Cleve used to travel a lot in the remote corners of India. And so we can see that in Madras, Chennai, we have seen various places which belongs to him. The makeup room had the look of hair cutting salon with lights at all angles around half a dozen large mirrors. There were all incandescent light, so you can imagine the fear misery of those subjected to makeup. The makeup department was the first headed by a Bengali who became too big for the studio and left. He was succeeded by a Maharashtrian who was assisted by a Darbar Karnataka and Andhra, and a Madras Indian Christian, an Anglo Burmese, and the usual local Tamils. All this shows that there was a great deal of national integration long before AIR and Doordarshan began broadcasting programs on national integration. This gang of nationally integrated makeup men could turn any decent looking man into a hideous crimson hued monster with the help of truck loads of pancakes, and the number of other locally made potions and lotions. So over here, the writer is now giving us description about the makeup room at Gemini Studio. It usually looked like a hair cutting salon with dozens of lights and mirrors and the people working over there. There people used to work which came from different parts of the nation. Some of them were Bengalis, some of them were Madrasi Christians, some were Kannadigas, and some were from Andhras, some were Tamils, yes, some were Maharashtrians. So it was like that after independence. AIR and Doordarshan started broadcasting programs that all the Indians are brothers and sisters and we all should live together. But even before they had started broadcasting, people in reality used to work together, they used to stay together, and they had a very good integrity and a really good brotherhood. Moreover to that, these all people, over here the writer has used the word gang. Yes, so these whole group of makeup artist men, they, what was their work? Their work was to make them look very ugly. Okay, so it is usually we all are tended that if we use makeup, we look more pretty. Our mindset, our thinking, ideology is that by applying makeup we look beautiful. But over here the writer Ashoka Mitran is trying to say that the makeup artist makes the person look so ugly while applying the makeup. Their natural beauty is not being seen and they look very terrible. Okay, so usually this we all have encountered that whenever we are also applying makeup is a product or something which when we apply from near it looks very bad. It only looks good on the film, in the photographs, on the screen it looks good. So over here makeup is usually made for the film makers so that they look extra good, but in reality they look really horrible. This is what the author is trying to say. Over to that, this makeup was basically from a brand called Pancake, and truckloads of pancakes used to come, and some other local made makeup would also come for the studio. Those were the days of mainly indoor shooting, and only 5% of the film was shot outdoors. I suppose the sets of studio lights needed the girls and boys to be made to look ugly in order to look presentable in movie. A strict hierarchy was maintained in the makeup department. The chief makeup man made the chief actor and actresses ugly, his senior assistant the second hero and heroine, the junior assistant and the main comedian, and so forth. The players who played the crowd were responsibilities of the office boy. Even the makeup department of the Gemini studio had an office boy. On days when there was a crowd shooting, you could see him mixing his paint in a giant vessel and slapping it on the crowd players. The idea was to close every pore on the surface of the face in the process of applying makeup. He wasn't exactly a boy, he was in his early 40s, having entered the studio years ago in hoping of becoming a star actor or a top screenwriter, director, or lyrics writer. He was a bit of a poet. So over here, the writer is sharing his experience that how people used to work in those days. Majorly, in the olden movies, we have also seen that mostly indoor movie shoots used to be. Only 5% of the films were shot outdoors, and that was the reason that the girls and boys were also supposed to be looked ugly, which he says that in double inverted commas ugly. Why? Because it was very compulsory for them to make them look no presentable, and there was a strict hierarchy, means a method, a chain which was being followed, that the main makeup artist will only apply makeup to the heroine and the hero. Then comes the senior assistant who would be doing makeup for their assistant, means the second heroine and other comedians, and the junior assistants were given the responsibilities for the same. And there was one person who was an office boy, and his responsibility was to paint. Paint means over here to do makeup to the crowd which was over there. And the author is making fun that even Gemini Studios makeup department used to have an office boy. Now it was during when there were huge crowd shooting. At that time, that makeup boy used to mix his paint in a giant vessel so that he could close every single pore of surface of the person applying makeup. Now exactly that now he is giving us a description about that makeup boy. Now that makeup boy was actually not a boy, he was in his early 40s, and years before, he had come to Gemini Studio in hoping of becoming an actor or a top screenwriter, director, something else, or he was a bit of poet also, but where he has landed himself in becoming a makeup artist. In those days, I worked in a cubicle, two whole sides of which were French windows. I didn't know at that time they were called French windows. Seeing me sitting at my desk tearing up newspaper day in and day out, most people thought I was doing next to nothing. It is likely that the boss thought likewise too. So, anyone who felt I should be given some occupation which would barge into my cubicle and deliver an extended lecture. The boy in the makeup department had decided I should be enlightened and how great literary talent was being allowed to go waste in the department fit only for barbers and perverts. Soon I was praying for the crowd shooting at all the time. Nothing sort of it could save me from his epic. So now usually the writer used to sit in his cubicle, and which had French windows in it. He also knew it afterwards that they were supposed to be called French windows. He used to sit on his desk and he used to tear paper day in and day out. So majority people working in at Gemini Studio always used to think that he is good for nothing and he is not doing anything, and without for tearing paper he is getting money. So every now and then any people getting frustrated or in need of some assistant would call for the writer, and they would deliver a extensive long lecture that he should be given an opportunity and chance to prove himself apart from this. In all instances of frustration, you will always find the anger directed towards a single person, openly or covertly, and this man was the makeup department, was convinced that all his woes, ignominy, and neglected were due to Kotamangalam Subbu. Subbu was number 2 at Gemini Studios. He wouldn't have had a more encouraging opening in films than our grown up makeup boy had. On the contrary, he must have had to face more uncertain and difficult times. For when he began his career, there were no firmly established film producing companies or studios. Even in the matter of education, especially formal education, Subbu couldn't have had an appreciable lead over our boy. So now over here one more person's introduction has been given to us. His name is Subbu. He is the second most important person at Gemini Studio. He is the person who is the most encouraging person they would ever find in the studio. When he was younger in age, he had come to Gemini Studio for becoming an actor, and he wanted to try his luck in that career, but it was not possible for him. And he used to have a formal education, and he was really appreciable by everyone by virtue for being born in Brahmin, a virtue indeed. He must have exposure to more affluent situations and people. He had the ability to look cheerful at all times, even after having a hand in a flop film. He always had work for somebody. He could never do things on his own, but his sense of loyalty made him identify himself with his principal completely and turn his entire creativity in his principal's advantage. He was tailor made for films. So over here, he had given many flop films when he was a hero being filmed, but that didn't no misleaded him. He was so cheerful that then he started helping other people, and he was a really great asset for Gemini Studio. If you ask him anything, his work was to not do anything, but he used to make people do the work, and every man would be so much inspired by his command. And he was, we can say, no, a tailor made for films, that to arrange everything in order, like we can have assistant director. His work was some sort of that. He was a man who could be inspired when commanded. The rat fights the tigress underwater and kills her, but takes pity on the cubs and tends them lovingly. I don't know how to do the scene, the producer would say, and Subbu would come out with 4 ways of rat pouring affection on its victim's outspring. Good, but I'm not sure it is effective enough, the producer would say, and in a minute, Subbu would come out with 14 more alternatives. Filmmaking must have been and was so easy with a man like Subbu around. And if ever there was a man who gave directions and definition to Gemini Studio during its golden years, it was Subbu. So over here, Subbu was a person that who wanted to become an actor, but unfortunately, he was not that successful enough. So he had no working in the film industry, and whenever producer wanted to do something and he was unable to get exact ideas, then Subbu would come with 4 alternatives, and if the producer was not satisfied with it, then he would come with another 14 alternatives, which would make him a commendable person at all cost. So it was something that Subbu was a person who was a jam for Gemini Studio. He used to give directions and definitions to Gemini Studio in its golden years. So dear students, for today we are keeping it till here. In the next video lecture, we shall continue from here and we shall complete the chapter. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. If you still find any doubt or queries, you can comment down in the comment section below. Have a great day everyone.